Hello, everyone. Welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Central Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome. Before we get into the podcast, you know we always have a little bit of admin. And a reminder that I am a Knit Picks ambassador. I have a discount code for 15% off your total purchase, which will be linked below. And then I am holding a year-long make-along for Love My Stash Make-Along. All that you need to do is use something from your stash that you had before this calendar year, 2025, and you need to use at least 50 grams of yarn for your project. Post it on my Ravelry group page in the FO thread, and I will pull a winner each month. Also, a little bit different admin this week is I have posted my first Patreon class. So I have talked about this for a while. I have a Patreon, not in the sense that it's a membership, but that is where I'm going to put up classes. And I have my Ravelry class up. I will have the link below of where you can purchase that. And so if you took this class at the Arkansas Yarn Co. Weekend with Friends retreat first year, or I taught it also at the store the first, right after that, and you wanted to take it again, this is your chance. You can purchase this class. So I'm super excited and hope to eventually have more classes available. All right, I am ready to get in the episode. This is episode 89. If you are new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. I hope you will stay and enjoy yourself. I name every episode after a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music. And I always can find an appropriate song that captures my making, my mood, my life. And this week, literally as I was finishing a project this morning, I was listening to a vinyl and the song was on and I'm like, oh, this is the episode. Yep, this is the episode song. So this week is Adore You by Harry Styles. I do have a playlist for this podcast that includes all my episode titles on Spotify. Again, I will have that linked below. So I will have timestamps below to each part of this, and I feel like it'll go pretty fast. I have multiple finished objects cast-ons, a whip, and a couple of acquisitions. So let's get right into my finished objects. So I feel like we have to start with this right here. This is the Tolsta tank by Clow, and this is my second one. I have not woven in the ends yet, but I will do that as soon as I get off here. But I did give it a block with the steamer because if you remember the last podcast, this is where I was last podcast, all the way down here. The last podcast I was saying that I was using this white yarn, which is Mace of Skein's Frosting with Sprinkles. The pink is pink birthday cake. And this one was previously in a garment, so it was kind of ramen noodly. So I had to really, I wouldn't say aggressively block because I didn't wet block it, but I did have to go over this with the steamer quite a bit for the stitches to relax. I'm so, so, so happy with this. I love it. It fits great. I love the contrasting pink with this. Being that these two colors went together, it's contrasting enough, but yet it's the exact same pink. So it's so, so good. But as much as I love this tank, I now have made two of them, and it has definitely got me out of my garment funk and even my project funk since I have 3 finished objects this week. I think I'm ready for summer garments, so other Southern garments. Not to say I won't make another Tolsta tank at some point, but I'm really happy with the two that I have. So yeah, I just love it. It's so pretty. And I can't wait to wear it next weekend when we have our party at work at Arkansas Yarn Co. celebrating 6 years of Lori's brick and mortar store. So I'm very excited. I will be wearing that day. All right, I have 2 other finished objects. The next one is my socks. I previously had one done, and I finished this. Oh, I didn't say today is Wednesday, May 21st. I'm kind of out of it because I'm recording at night because I only had one heel left to do on this and the straps to do on the Tolsta. So I'm like, it's podcast day. I'm finishing these 2 projects. So both of these were done today. And again, so in love with this. This color is fantastic. This is Night Owl Fibers Barn Owl Sock in the Delicate Rainbow colorway. It is so pretty. It's just a vanilla pattern. I did do an afterthought heel because I didn't want to mess up the yarn. Although I do see that I have one line of the other blue underneath my heel. That's so funny. That's okay. Good enough. I'm going to be stepping on that. No one's going to see that part. And I am doing that in conjunction with Rachel of Night Owl Fibers year-long sock knit-along, where you knit a pair of socks with her yarn from start to finish each month. So that was my May pair. I will not cast on another one till the beginning of next month. All right, I have a 3rd finished object. And this one I haven't blocked. I really didn't think it needed it, but I'm kind of almost wondering if I just kind of lay these things out and give it a little bit of steam. I don't know. So this is my Dorid. This is the scarf I've been working on. And this again is just a fun, so when I had posted this on my Instagram that I finished it, so I had heard people say, oh, it's potato chippy, like a potato chip scarf. I literally did not know they were talking that was the name of it. So if I remember, I'll put in a picture, someone on Facebook had commented to this and said, oh, that's the potato chip scarf. That is literally the name of it. And it looks like this. I love this. I've been trying to get anybody who notices this sample at the shop, I'm like, oh, you should make that. It's one skein, and it's so much fun. This was very fun. This was deep stash yarn. This is Artistic Yarn by Abby in the color Watercolor Stripe. And I am happy for this to be done. I just have all the brightest, happiest projects going on this week. And I could not be happier about it. So I finished 3 projects y'all have seen for a while now. So what else have I been making? Not very much, but I have cast on 2 things. So first one is in an acquisition that I got. The acquisition is this bag. This is a Della Q bag. It's a mesh tote. We do, as of right now, have 2 of these in the shop. Again, Wednesday evening, we have 2 of these pink ones. Before we were able to carry these ones, we weren't able to get this in the store for a while. So I actually bought this on Jimmy Beans because this is a collaboration with TL Yarn Crafts. So in here, I was motivated to cast this project on because of Tori at work. Her go-to baby blanket is the Half and Half Triangles Wrap by Purl Soho, which is technically a wrap, but I know other people have used it as like a blanket. And Tori says that she gets the Queensland Coastal Fine weight, 2 of each color, and then cast on for the half and half triangles wrap. So basically 1 giant triangle with short rows and then the other giant triangle with short rows. And I love giving gifts. I have no problem making gifts for people, but the problem I have is that I am really bad when it comes to like I need it done by a certain time, my brain just shuts down. So I thought, okay, well, this is a great like TV, keep it by the TV. If I don't know what else to knit on, like now I've finished 3 projects. So if I'm like, okay, I don't want to knit on any of these other things, so let me just grab my blanket so I don't have to think about it. So I got the Queensland Coastal Cotton Fine in the colorway Navy. And we do carry this at Arkansas Yarn Co. And then the Ocean Mist, again in the fine weight. And this is Belle's Beach. So these 2 together. And I didn't get super far on it. But obviously I'm only in 1 color, so I decided to start with the navy. So I've cast on and done a little bit. Okay. So yeah, doesn't really look like much. But yeah, this is this a free pattern? I was about to say yes, it was, and now I'm questioning it. Looking. Yes, it is a free pattern. Okay. I just did not want to say it was free, and it was not. So I have where I'm doing the short rows here, you can see basically short rows, garter, back and forth, short rows until I get to over here, and then I will have a triangle. Easy peasy. Not much thought into it. If I feel like I could do, I'm doing German short rows for this. And not that German short rows are hard, but I'm going to the movie Sunday. I'm going to see Mission Impossible, and I am so excited. And the movie's almost 3 hours, but you know, then the trailers, commercials. I'm wondering, maybe I should practice doing this in the dark. Because if I have my stitch marker on, you'd think I could do this in the dark. Because I was just thinking, I don't know what I'm going to have on my needles for Sunday's movie. I may have to practice that before then. We'll see. All right. Next project is also, that baby blanket isn't for a gift of someone in particular. I just thought, okay, I always want to knit something for a baby, and then I get rushed and I don't do it. So I thought, what a great way to just cast one on just cause, and then I will have it ready to go. So it's not for anyone in particular. This next one is a gift and has a little story to it. So I have a friend and her son is autistic, and he, you know, usually doesn't really look directly at people. He kind of mumbles a little bit. They've been working with him a lot, so he's been getting a lot better, but usually he'll just, you know, whisper to his mom what he's trying to say to someone. So I think last month, maybe? It's been a few weeks at least. But we were out to dinner with a bunch of friends, and my friend was sitting across from me at the table, and her son was sitting to her side. And I was, of course, while we were waiting to order, I was knitting on a sweater. And, you know, she asked me what I was knitting, and so we're just conversing about it. I think I actually had just cast this on. And I was like, oh, I'm knitting a sweater. And all of a sudden, her son lit up, looked directly at me, and said, will you knit my bunny a sweater? And I'm just like, we kind of all were shocked and had like this moment. Like I looked at her and our other friend was like, did that just happen? And I'm like, okay, this is a big deal. This is like a really big deal. And it didn't end there. Like he was engaged with me and he was dead serious and he kept talking about it. And so I'm like, oh, your bunny? And he's like, yeah, my stuffed bunny. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'll have to like see a picture of him. So then he was looking on his phone and trying to find a picture. Like he was dead serious about getting a sweater for his stuffed bunny. And if you've been here a while, you know, I don't like making toys. I don't like making little garments. That is not my thing at all. But this was such a special and personal thing that I'm like, well, of course I'm going to have to make your bunny a sweater because, yeah. So I am attempting to do so. But that was such a very special moment. And I was having a really bad night that night. So that was like a really precious moment. This is in one of my Kelly E. McD bags. And I am making, this is not a free pattern, I know that. So I think the pattern is under Little Cotton Rabbits. Here, I can show this part. So she has this designer has a pattern for the bunnies you see here. This pattern is just for the sweaters, the 3 sweaters. Her bunny comes with like a sweater. If you get the bunny pattern, I think it comes with a sweater. This is just 3 different types of sweaters. And I thought this is great. And what's really great about it is in the pattern, it specifically says can be used for a stuffed animal 7 inches high. And there's another one like 9 inches in height. So I had my friend measure the bunny and it was exactly 7 inches. I'm like, I think this is going to work just fine. This yarn, I'm doing the blue and white like striped, and I'm using, I don't even know what these are. These are my 2 yarns I keep aside for heels, toes, and cuffs that I just have had on my desk. So I don't know what these are, but they're fingering weight. And I haven't gotten very far because, again, struggle bus. But I did start it. And here it is. Doesn't look like a sweater, I know. There's a couple of her stitches. Actually, it was 1 week ago today. It was last Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, I am going to just sit and work on this project tonight. I'm not going to let myself work on anything else to at least get it on my needles and get started. And she has a couple stitches, an M1A, which is called Make 1 Stitch Away, an M1T, which is Make 1 Towards, and a YF, Yarn Forward. And you do those like right at the beginning. And I'm sitting there, and it's one of those moments where you're like, kind of like the Tolsta tee. Oh, which I will say, the Tolsta tee, I'm pretty sure I mentioned on my first one I had when I was doing the picking up for the arms. It said YO, and I'm like, or no, it said CO, and my brain goes cast on. So I did, and then I'm like, no, that's not right. And I put a note in the Ravelry pattern. She got back to me and said, it's cast off, which it says right in her pattern. But my brain as a knitter is like, CO is cast on. So, you know, we think we know better. Ironically, Lori, when she got to that point, she messaged me, knowing I had already done my first one, and said, I cast on so many stitches. And I'm like, nope, it's cast off. And then another friend who's making it messaged me on Instagram, I cast on. I'm like, nope, it's cast off. So I'm kind of glad to know it was not just me, that, you know, just our brain is programmed a certain way. And again, because, you know, these patterns are from people of different countries, so maybe this is like common phrasing for them. But I did what I thought was correct. And I took it to work the next day because if you know, Jessa is like the yarn whisperer, and she like really, really understands stitches and all that. And I'm like, can you please read this and tell me what in the world it means. And I told her, I'm like, this is what I did. I think that's right. Pretty much, I was right with the one, but the other one for yarn forward, she's like, just do a yarn over. So we decided that I'm gonna, for the make one stitch away or make one towards, it's a tiny bunny sweater. I'm just gonna make one. I'm just gonna make one direction, not two different directions. So my brain will allow me to work on this. But that really confused me. And that's why I literally stopped. That was my cast on night, and that's all I've touched. So I don't know if I'm gonna recast it on and start over or just go with what I have. But that is a little bunny sweater for a sweet little friend. Okay, that is not all. So I have one more cast on, and I have to find it. All right, I didn't bring it in here because it's not in a project bag yet. I just cast this on yesterday, and this is the Flax DK. I don't know why I'm in the middle over here. Okay, so yesterday, Tuesday, I worked from home, and we are at the shop going to be doing a sweater workshop. So many people will come in. We do free one-on-one lessons to beginner knitters or crocheters. And a lot of times people get into it, or people just come off and they said, okay, I've knit this, but I really want to make a garment and I'm afraid to. So this class is tailored for those that have never made a garment before. And this is going to be basically a walkthrough, and we're making the flax, which is a free pattern from Tin Can Knits. And we are doing videos to go along with the in-person class. So the class is in person over 5 different Saturdays, and I will be making the videos for them. Jessa will be teaching the in-person classes. So we've been working together to make sure our information is all matching. Eventually, after the workshop is completed this first time through, which won't be till August, then we plan on putting just the video up for sale through Arkansas Yarn Co. So it's super exciting. But yesterday I worked all day about making videos and stuff. So in that process, I cast on. The first class is all about the swatching, picking out your size, figuring that out, and then doing your ribbing. To do this class, you already need to knit and purl in the round. So you should already be comfortable with in the round in some way. So I have cast on what was basically class 1. I did my swatch, I gauged it, all that, and then I completed this. So the class also, we do one part and then we send you home with homework. So basically in class, we would get to the casting on of this, starting the ribbing, and then that's it. And we'd be like, okay, before next class, you need to finish the ribbing. And then the second class will be starting the raglan increases, basically putting in stitch markers to know where those go, what raglan increases look like, get you comfortable with that. And then your homework would be to finish that to the sleeve separation. So not all classes are super long. The first one was definitely longer. The second one will be just getting people comfortable with the raglan increases, knitting that around, and then they will do the rest of that for homework. So I'm really excited to be doing the classes. I am doing this in DK, although the class we are focusing on worsted weight, but there's just no way I can wear a worsted sweater. And so I am going through it, the pattern as worsted, but I'm doing DK. And so my other acquisition, I did not purchase this since this was for a class. This one's coming undone. But I picked So this is Arroyo, which is the Malabrigo DK. And I picked the color Polar Morn. It's kind of like a grayish blue. So yeah, I will only be working on this when I'm filming the classes and then catching up to film the next class part of it. So I'm really excited about that. It'll be a lovely sweater. Look at that beautiful ribbing. So if you haven't, and you want to learn how to make us garments, the first class starts the first Saturday in June. So you can sign up now on Arkansas Yarn Co. website for that. But be looking hopefully in August sometime, where the class, if you're not local and you would like to learn, then look for the class online August or after it should be up. So it'll give us time to work on it and then combine all the class videos together. And that is all my cast-ons. So I only have one whip. And just like finishing my shoulder shell garment, where I just turned behind me to all of those whips back there and picked one, I have pulled out another whip. Let me actually see when I started this whip. March 17th, 2023, so over 2 years ago. This is in a Mrs. Brown's bag, and this is the Eyelet Burst Shawl by Stephen West. I do have a marker on here. So when I picked it up, I was right there. So I basically got the next color section done. This shawl uses 4 different colors, where you do kind of some fading stripes in between each and do a section. So I had, a good bit of it done before and then just haven't touched it. Again, this is a very easy garter, but you are constantly increasing. So every row, in true Stephen West style, every row gets longer. So that's why, even though it doesn't look like I've put a lot on there, each row gets longer and longer. So I'm going to move this up before I forget. And I usually put it on my right side so I know if it's the side that I'm increasing or not. But basically this used 4 colors. Now I have wrote down the 4 colors. I'm not positive. So this green one right here is an AYC color. This one and the solid blue one that I've been working on were dyed by Jessa and Anna. And this is Let the Sky Fall. And this one is The World Is Not Enough. We don't have any of this in the shop. Again, this is from 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure we don't have any. And then the other 2 skeins I'm using were from Stash. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. I do have a tag in this one. One of the skeins I haven't done yet. So that means this variegated one in between the green and blue was Hugh Loco Cat Nanny. So I'm already done with colors 1 and 2. And now I worked color 3, the plain color 3. And so now I am at the point where I will be striping color 3 and color 4 together. So color 4 is Sinful Yarns. And this is the colorway Beta Fish. That's really not Sinful Yarn. There we go. So I just, my love of green lately and always my love of blue. This has been, again, who knows if you'll see it next podcast or if it will go back on the shelf for a while. But this is what has gotten a little bit of love for me this time. Kind of looks like a hot mess because there's just so many stitches. So it's not going to lay flat. But it's definitely going to be pretty after it's done. All right, and that is all of my making for the last 2 weeks. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I forgot. Oh, I did find a new podcast, so a quick podcast recommendation. I did not write their name down, so I am sorry, but I will have it linked below. It is the Knitting Esquire, and I really enjoyed that. I've only watched 1 episode, but that I usually like to tell you guys when I have discovered a new podcast. So the Knitting Esquire, I will have a link to that below. But other than that, I'm trying to think, there's really nothing else. Oh, thank you for those after the last episode that followed my curated office Instagram. There hasn't been much on there. I've kind of had like a brain fog with it, but thank you so much to those that have followed me. That I know helps me out on the whole more views. So thank you so much. But that's all I've been doing. Just busy for work. Our event next weekend, May 31st. Hope to see all y'all there. And it's a while out. Let me see if I have one other news item. I might not have it in this drawer. But I am going to DFW Fiberfest this year. So excited. I went in 2019 with a couple of friends, and then I went again the year before last by myself. But I am going with my friend Allison, and we're going for the whole weekend. I don't have it here, but I got special Always Yarn First stickers, and I got a 50 pack of them, so I am keeping those specially for the Fiberfest. So if you're going to DFW and you see me there, then let me know you want a sticker, and I will give those out then. I will remind you before, because that's not till September. I'm just really, really excited. And I signed up for 3 classes. All different, what is the word I'm thinking of? All different skills. I'm doing like a table creative weaving because I thought it'd be a good way to use some of my thicker hand spun yarn for like a tapestry weaving. And then I'm taking tips and tricks that will blow your mind by Corey of I Rock Knits. And then I am taking how to spin on a support spindle, which I don't own a support spindle yet. She has enough for the classes that we're going to use them there, but hopefully by the time September rolls around, I will have one in my possession. So that's one where you spin it on like a little plate or whatever, and so I'm very excited for that. So yeah, that's all I have, guys. I hope that everything's going well for you. We've still been battling spring tornado storms around this area. It's been crazy. I had one that there was about 5 to 7 trees down in my apartment parking lot the other day. I didn't lose power and my truck was not damaged, but many little trees were on top of cars when I left for work the next morning. So yeah, it's been crazy. And we're getting into the summer southern heat, which I don't love. But again, I plan on making lots of summer tanks, so that is the goal. But I'm happy you were here. Thank you if you've sticked around to the very end. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.